Hello, Shalom. Welcome back to day 121 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading the book of Numbers, chapter 15, 2 Kings 5, Psalms 89 through 132, Proverbs 31, and for book of Acts, chapter 15. Numbers chapter 15 is on page 157 of the 2009 version of the Scriptures. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I am giving you, and you make an offering by fire to Yahweh, an ascending offering or a slaughtering offering, to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering in your appointed times, to make a sweet fragrance to Yahweh from the herd or the flock. And then he who brings near his offering to Yahweh shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. You prepare with the ascending offering or the slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare a grain offering, 2/10 of ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of hin of oil. And a drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering, or as a slaughtering, to accomplish a vow, or as a peace offering to Yahweh, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering, all 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil, and bring as a drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire of sweet fragrance to Yahweh. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram or each lamb or young goat, according to the number that you prepare. So you do for each one according to their number. And let all who are native do so with them, in bringing fire, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when a sojourner sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and would make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, as you do, so he does. One law is for you of the assembly and for the sojourner who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the sojourner before you, Yahweh. One Torah and one right ruling is for you, and for the sojourner who sojourns with you. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you come into the land to which I bring you, then it shall be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you present a contribution to Yahweh. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution. As a contribution of the threshing floor you present it. Of the first of your dough you are to give to Yahweh a contribution throughout your generations. And when you sin by mistake, and do not do all these commands which Yahweh has spoken to Moshe, and all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Moshe from the day Yahweh gave command and onward throughout your generation. Then it shall be, if it is done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as an ascending offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, with a grain offering and a drink offering according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the sojourner who sojourns in their midst, because of the people did it by mistake. And if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat, a year old, as a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake, when his sins by mistake before Yahweh, to make atonement for him. It shall be given him. For him who does whatever by mistake there is one Torah, but for him who is native among the children of Israel, and for the sojourner who sojourns in your midst. But the being who does whatever defiantly, whatever he is native or sojourn, he reviles Yahweh, and that being shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of Yahweh, and has broken his command. That being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found the man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him under guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death. All the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, and as Yahweh commanded Moshe, and he died. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, to make tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit of the corner. And it shall be for you a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and you shall remember all the commands of Yahweh, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember and shall do my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim, to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. On to Kings chapter 5, on page 386. And Naaman, commander of the army of the sovereign of Aram, was a great man in the eyes of his master, and highly respected, because by him Yahweh had given deliverance to Aram. And he was a brave man, but leprous. And the Arameans had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. And she served the wife of Nahum. And she said to her mistress, "If only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, then he would recover him of his leprosy." And Nahum went in and reported to his master, saying, "Thus and thus spoke the girl who is from the land of Israel." And the sovereign of Aram said, "Go, enter, and let me send a letter to the sovereign of Israel." And he went and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 exchanges of garments. And he brought the letter to the sovereign of Israel, which said, "And now, when this letter comes to you, see, I have sent Nahum, my servant, to you, so that you shall recover him from his leprosy." And it came to be, when the sovereign of Israel read the letter, that he tore his garments and said, "Am I Elohim to kill and keep alive, that this man sends a man to me to recover him from his leprosy? For consider now and see how he is seeking an occasion with me." And it came to be, when Elisha, the man of Elohim, heard that the sovereign of Israel had torn his garments, that he sent to the sovereign, saying, "Why have you torn your garments? Please let him come to me, so that he knows that there is a prophet in Israel." And Nahum came with his horses and chariot, and he stood at the entrance of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, "Go, and you shall wash 7 times in the Jordan, that your flesh might be restored to you and be clean." But Nahum became wroth and went away and said, "See, I said to myself, he would certainly come out to me and stand and call on the name of Yahweh his Elohim and wave his hand over the place and recover the leprosy. Are not the Haban and the Pharaoh, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean?" And he turned and went away in rage. And his servant came near and spoke to him and said, "My father, if the prophet has spoken to you in a great manner, would you not have done it? How much more, then, when he says to you, 'Wash and be clean'?" Then he went down and dipped 7 times in the Jordan, according to the word of the man of Elohim. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of Elohim, he and all his company, and came and stood before him and said, "See, now I know that there is no Elohim in all the earth except Israel. And now please take a gift from your servant." But he said, "As Yahweh lives, before whom I stand, I do not accept." And he pressed on him to accept it, but he refused. Then Nahum said, If not, please let your servant be given 2 mule loads of earth. For no longer is your servant going to make an ascending offering and slaughter offering to other mighty ones, but to Yahweh. Yahweh grant forgiveness to your servant in this matter. When my master goes into the house of Remus to worship there, and he leans on my hand, and I bow down in the house of Remus, then I bow down in the house of Remus. Yahweh, please grant forgiveness to your servant in this matter." And he said to him, "Go in peace." And he went down from there and from him some distance. And Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of Elohim, said, "Look, my master has spared Nahum this Aramean, while not receiving from his hands what he brought. But as Yahweh lives, I shall run after him and take whatever from him. And Gazi pursued Nahum. When Nahum saw him running after him, he came down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is there peace? And he said, Peace, my master, has sent me, saying, Look, even now 2 young men of the sovereigns, 2 young men of the sons of the prophets have come to me from the mountains of Ephraim. Please give me a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Nahum said, Please accept 2 talents. And he urged him, and he bound it 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments, and handed them to two of his servants, and they bare them ahead of him. And when he came to the high place, he took them from their hand and stored them away in the house, and let the men go, and they went. And he went in and stood before his master, and Elijah said to him, Where did you go, Gehazi? And he said, Your servant did not go anywhere. But he said to him, Did not my heart go with you when the man turned back from his chariot to meet you? It is time to accept silver. Is it time to accept silver and to accept garments and olive trees and vineyards and sheep and cattle and male and female servants? So let the leprosy of Nahum cling to you and your descendants forever. And he went out from him as leprous as snow. On to Psalms 119, verses 89 through 132. On page 717. Land. Forever, O Yahweh, your word stands firm in the heavens. Your trustworthiness is to all generations. You established the earth, and it stands according to your right rulings. They have stood to this day, for all are your servants. If your Torah had not been my delight, I would have perished in my affliction. Let me never forget your orders, for by them you have given me life. I am yours, save me, for I have sought your orders. The wrong have waited for me to destroy me. I have seen an end of all perfection. Your command is exceedingly broad. Mem. Oh, how I love your Torah. It is my study all day long. Your commands make me wiser than my enemies, for it is ever before me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for all your witnesses are my study. I understand more than the aged, for I have observed your orders. I have restrained my feet from every evil way, that I might guard your word. I have not turned aside from your right rulings, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet is my taste! How sweet to my taste has your word been! More than honey to my mouth. From your orders I get understanding. Therefore I have hated every false way. None. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. I have sworn, I have confirmed, to guard your righteous right rulings. I have been afflicted very much. O Yahweh, Revive me according to your word. Please accept the voluntary offerings of my mouth, O Yahweh, and teach me your right rulings. Verse 109. My life is in my hand continually, and your Torah I have not forgotten. The wrong have laid a snare for me, but I have not strayed from your orders. Your witnesses are my inheritance forever, for they are the joy of my heart. I have inclined my heart to do your laws forever to the end. Shemek. I have hated doubting thoughts, but I have loved your Torah. You are my concealed place and my shield. I have waited for your word. Turn away from me, you evildoers. For I observe the commands of my Elohim. Support me according to your word, that I might live, and put me not to shame, because of my expectation. Sustain me, that I might be saved, and I always look to your laws. You have made light of all those who stray from your laws, for falsehood is their deceit. You have made to cease all the wrong of the earth like dross. Therefore I have loved your witnesses. My flesh has trembled for fear of you, and I am in awe of your right rulings. Aid. I have done right ruling and righteousness. Leave me not to my oppressors. Guarantee your servant's well-being. Let not the proud oppress me. My eyes have pined away for your deliverance, and for the word of your righteousness. Do with your servant according to your loving commitment, and teach me your laws. I am your servant. Make me understand, that I might know your witnesses. It is time for Yahweh to act, for they have broken your Torah. Therefore I have loved your commands more than gold, even fine gold. Therefore all your orders I count as right. I have hated every false way. Pay. Your witnesses are wonders, so my being observes them. The opening up of your words gives light, giving understanding to the simple. I have opened my mouth and planted, for I have longed for your commands. Turn to me and show me favor according to your right rulings toward those who love your name. The end of Psalms 189 through 132. Moving over to Proverbs 31. The words of sovereign Lemuel, a message from his mother, which his mother taught him. What, my chosen, and what chosen of my womb, and what chosen of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to wiping away sovereigns. Not for sovereigns, O Lemuel, not for sovereigns to drink wines, nor princes to desire strong drink, lest they drink and forget what is inscribed, and pervert the right of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine those who embittered in being. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his trouble no more. Open your mouth for the dumb, in the cause of all their sons for the departed. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Who does find a capable wife? for she is worth far more than rubies. The heart of her husband shall trust her, and he has no lack of gain. She shall do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She shall seek wool and flax, and with delight she works with her hands. She shall be as the ships of the merchant. She brings in her food from afar. She arises while it is still night, and provides food for her household, and what is lawful for her girls. She shall consider a field and buy it. From her profits she shall plant a vineyard. She shall gird herself with strength, and strengthen her arms. She shall taste when her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. She shall stretch out her hands to the distaff, and her hand shall hold the spindle. She shall extend her hand to the poor. She shall reach out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for her household is dressed in scarlet. She shall make tapestry for herself. She is dressed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes fine linen and sells them, and shall give girdles to the merchants. Strength and splendor are her garments, and she rejoices in time to come. She shall open her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue the Torah of the loving commitment. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children shall rise up and call her blessed. Her husband too, and he praises her. Many daughters have done nobly, but you have risen over them all. Loveliness is deceptive, and prettiness is vain. A woman who fears Yahweh is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her praise her in the gates. On to Acts chapter 17 on page 1073. 1073. And having passed through Annapolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where there was a congregation of Judaeum. And according to his practice, Saul went in unto them, and for 3 Sabbaths, with reasoning with them from the Scriptures, so 3 weeks, explaining and pointing out that the Messiah had to suffer and rise again from the dead, and saying, "This is the Messiah, Yeshua, whom I proclaim to you." And some of them did believe, and a large number of the worshiping Greeks, and a few of the leading women joined Saul and Silas. But the Judaeum, who did not believe, having come envious, took some of the wicked men from the marketplace, and gathered a mob, set all the city in an uproar, and came upon the house of Jason, and were seeking to bring them out to the people. But not finding them, they dragged Jason and some of the brothers of the city rulers, crying out, "They have turned the world upside down, have come here too." They who have turned the world upside down have come here too, whom Jason has received. And all of them were acting contrary to the dogmas of Caesar, saying, "There is another sovereign, Yeshua." And they troubled the crowd and the city rulers when they heard this. And when they had received a pledge from Jason and the rest, they let them go. And the brothers immediately sent Saul and Silas away by night to Berea, who, having come, went into the congregation of the Judean. Now these were more noble than those of Thessalonica, who received the word with great eagerness, and searched the Scriptures daily, if these words were so. Then many of them truly believed, and also a few of the Greeks, decent women as well as men. And when the Judean of Thessalonica came to know that the word of Elohim was proclaimed by Saul at Berea, they came there also and stirred up the crowds. Man, they just like causing trouble. And then immediately the brothers sent Saul away to go to the sea, but both Silas and Timothy stayed there. And those who arranged for Saul brought him to Athens, and receiving a command for Silas and Timothy to join him as soon as possible, they departed. But Saul was waiting for them in Athens. His spirit was stirred up within him when he saw that the city was utterly idolatrous. Therefore, indeed, he was reasoning in the congregation with the Judean and with the worshippers, and in the marketplace daily with those who met there. Some of the Epicurean and Stoic philosophers encountered him, and some were saying, "What does this babbler wish to say?" Others said, "He seems to be a proclaimer of strange mighty ones, because to them he brought the good news, Yeshua and the resurrection." So they laid hold of him and brought him to Acros, saying, "Are we able to know what this fresh teaching is of which you speak? For you are bringing us some strange matters to our ears. We wish then to know what these mean. For all the Athenians and the strangers living there spent their leisure time in doing naught but to speak or to hear what is fresh." And having stood in the midst of the Ephraim, Saul said, "Men of Athens, I see that you are very religious in every matter. For passing through and observing the objects of your worship, I even found a slaughter place with this inscription: To the unknown mighty one, not knowing then whom you worship, I make him known to you. Yahweh, who made the world and all that is in it, this one being, master of heaven and earth, does not dwell in dwellings made with hands, nor is he served with man's hands, as if needing any. Himself giving all the life and breath and all else. And he has made from one blood every nation of man to dwell on all the face of the earth, having ordained before the times and the boundaries of their dwellings, to seek the Master, if at least they would reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and are, and also some of our own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Now then, since we are the offspring of Elohim, we should not think that the Elohim is like gold or silver or stone, an image made by the skill and thought of man. Truly, then, having overlooked these times of ignorance, Elohim now commands men, all men, everywhere, to repent, because he has set a day on which he is going to judge the world in righteousness by a man whom he has appointed, having given proof of this to all by raising him from the dead. And hearing of the resurrection of the dead, some indeed mocked, while others said, We shall hear you again concerning this. And so Saul went out from among them. But some men joined him and believed, among them Dionysius the Aphorist, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.